Joining me right now is UFC featherweight TJ Brown. What's going on downtown?
Man, just out here living the dream, man. I've been in Kansas City. I've been training with James Krause at Glory MMA. Man, did another 2 days, man. I'm beat, man. Ready to eat some food and get some rest, to be honest.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm not gonna take too much of your time. Let's talk about that first. Going over to Glory MMA. How are you splitting your camp? Are you splitting your camp, or are you just doing your whole camp at Glory?
All right, so I say I had 8 weeks, and I would have spent 5 to 6 weeks at Glory. I'm still going to have my coach Rolly Delgado from Westside MMA. He's brought me up my entire career. He'll be there. I have James Krause, and I'm bringing my younger brother up there so he can have a good experience. I think it's cool to have my brother there because I remember I fought in this kickboxing title match, and I had him there. And it put me in a good mindset, man. I was just like, little brother's watching. I got to set a good example. I can get my mind right and do right, And I just like the headspace I was in when I had him there. So I'll be bringing my little brother too.
How have the 2 days been, man? Is it rough, or is it something
Man,
it's a welcoming experience?
Dude, the first week there, dude, I was just like, man, am I getting old? Like, what's going on? Like, I guess my body just had to adjust. But after a few weeks, I kind of acclimated to everything, and man, I'm fitting along real well with the team, man. I'd say the biggest difference, is, man, we got great coaches West Side. I've got Bryce Mitchell there, of course, but man, at Glory, there's a whole room of UFC, Bellator, different killers in there, So I'm getting a lot of good looks, and man, James is really a whiz, and he's helped really just kind of put the pieces of puzzles together for my game.
What is the connection there? Is it James Krause? How did you guys link up?
Oh man, that's a good question. I fought one of his guys a few years ago. That's when I first heard about him. And then, man, honestly, there was a lot of buzz around that gym. I've been hearing, he's had several guys in the UFC not just doing well, but winning fights in the UFC, doing well. And I was like, man, I talked to my manager, and I was like, man, I want to go down there for a week, just try him out, see if it's a good fit. And sure enough, I went down there, and man, I got some great training, hit it off with him and several of the guys there like Grant Dawson and Mike Breeden and a lot of other guys there. And man, I want to tell you, I'm going to be doing a lot of my camps here from here on out.
I was talking to Derek Minner last year, and he did the same thing.
Yeah, okay. I forgot him, man. He's another great guy there.
Okay. Yeah, he's same story. He fought one of James's guys, and then I believe he lost to him, and then he said, man, I need to get with the guy that knows how to beat me to get better. So that's why he's at Glory MMA now.
For sure, man. Yeah, they really have something special here. The whole culture of the gym, the teammate atmosphere, man. I think at the highest level, this is the gym to be at. And nothing taken away from Westside. Westside, it made me who I am today, and I'll be going back next week to finish up there, and then the last week we'll be heading over to Vegas. But it's just. It's been probably one of the best camps of my entire career, to be honest.
Definitely, you need to get some of that balance and different looks, like you said. What is the impact these individuals are, providing for you that goes beyond physical skills? Because you're talented, you're in the UFC.
Right. A lot of it was it's for me. It got me back out of my comfort zone, if that makes sense. I'm having to go with new bodies, guys I'm not familiar with, guys that. That they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder, so they're coming at me, and all well, even though that may seem like you wouldn't want that, it's what you want. You want to be in an uncomfortable atmosphere. You want guys coming at you, and that's what I have there. And not to mention, a big part of this, man, I've been able to go over here and just train. That's all I'm doing. I'm training, and that's it. So my mind's just focused on training. Where back home, I've got a lot of responsibilities with my son, of course. I'm teaching classes. I'm doing private lessons. My buddies on the weekend are like, hey, man, let's go out. So all those distractions have been gone, and I'm just focusing on the fight. And, man, my weight's down. My mind's in a good place. And, man, you might see the best TJ Brown you've ever seen come this May 1st.
For sure, man. And also, is this the first time you feel like you're a full-time fighter?
Yeah, man. Although they back home they gave me ability to train and be in the gym, and it's not the same. You get done with your training session, then I got to do 5 private lessons, then I got to teach a class and a kids class. It's tough, man. And I'm just in such a great place now, and where I'm at after suffering those losses and being in the UFC. I don't want to look back and say, what if I'd have done this? What if I'd have just dedicated a little bit more time? What if I'd have done it, made this move? I don't want to look back and say, what if? So no matter what happens, I know I did all the things right leading up into this fight.
Definitely. You mentioned, you had to teach classes and do private lessons. You could take that time for recovery, which is probably pay dividends for you in this heavy training camp.
Right. And not just recovery as far as physically, but mentally. It's very mentally taxing as well.
Before we get into your fight coming up with Kai Kamaka, I wanted to go back on 2020, and talk about that year. The pandemic was going on. Not a good year for you in the octagon. If you could sum up that year in a few sentences, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, you hit on the nail, like it wasn't a good year for me. You look at 2019, 6 fights in a row, all win all my fights. Then 2020, I dropped 2 fights, and it was awful, to be honest, man. It really set me back. It was really, honestly, a depressing time for me. But with times like that, with struggle, I learned a lot from it, man. And I've learned from my mistakes of what I did wrong. I've made changes that needed to be changed. And, they sucked, but maybe that's what I needed to, get a little spark back in me and make the changes that need to be changed because, man, the fighter I am today is the best version of me yet. And like I said, 2020 was awful, and it was all for everybody. But such is life, right? Life's a motherfucker. You gotta bounce back, and that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to bounce back, and you're gonna see the best version of me.
You came out of that fight, I believe, with the orbital fracture.
Yeah.
So did you get surgery for that?
Yeah, had surgery. I've got I think the doctor described it as the size of a guitar pick thing in my eye right now, and my calf was beat to shit. So it was tough, man. It was a tough recovery, but man, my sight's perfect. I'm fully recovered and I'm 100% now. Yeah. And I like to defend calf kicks and out of town. So yeah. I hope somebody else throws them at me.
Yeah, it's a big thing right now. What I mean? It's like the front kick to the face back a few years back. Everybody wanted to do that, but but I think the calf kick is a very well utilized weapon, and a lot of people are starting to figure it out. And then next thing you know, both guys are gonna go at the calf together at the same time, and it's gonna be a wild fight. That's gonna be a wild one to see that eventually.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming definitely. It's a tough spot for you, man, and it's like, okay, if you didn't get the injury, if you didn't have to have surgery, do you feel like maybe the injury was a blessing for you to sit back and think and like refocus and dwell on stuff? Because if you didn't get the injury, maybe you would have jumped right back in on a short notice fight.
Right. That's a tough one. There's always what ifs in this game, right? You're right. I was able to take this time, look back, and make a good decision, which has ended up having me sitting where I am now, and I feel like in the best version of myself. However, if you look at that fight, shit, if it wasn't for me, that orbital, I was coming back in the third, and I was fixing to break him, so I don't know, man. I guess I hate to say, I don't know if everything happens for a reason, but I'm happy where I'm at. And I learned from my mistakes, and I'm in a good place right now, man.
All right, now with the added time that you have during the camp, did you decide to switch anything up, add anything to the schedule?
Yeah, I think I've got that feather in my cap for, man, that dude's a dog. Man, that dude's tough. You know what I mean? I've got that one. I've got that medal, or whatever you're going to say. Now, what I want guys to say about me is, man, that guy's smart. Man, that guy's strategic. At this level, I've learned, it's inches, and I think I've got a smarter game plan going into this fight. I think I'm going to be a little bit more strategic and try to use my tactics a bit more. I've got that in my back pocket. If I need to turn it into a dogfight, I can. But for this one, I want to be smarter. And so to answer your question, I think I put together a great game plan and some tactics that are going to win me this fight. And as well as, man, my weight's lower than it's ever been. Having a full camp, my weight is lower than it's ever been this far out, so there won't be any issues in my weight. So, man, I'm sitting pretty.
Missing weight, does that have a psychological effect going into a fight in your performance, do you think?
Oh, dude. To me, I'll admit it kind of did. But you look at a lot of fights, the people that miss weight are a lot of time winning the fight still, So I don't know how psychological it is. For me, it did bother me a bit, but luckily on fight night, I was able to hey, get my mind together and get right. But yeah, I think it can play a toll on you, and especially leading up to the fight. You're always stressing, man. Hope I make weight, and that's something that I'm not stressing about this time. I'm my weight's so low, I'm sitting good, and I'm just going to be focused on the fight, not worried about making weight.
What comes to mind when I mention the name Lauren McGauley?
Oh yeah, Lauren, my bad. We just linked up, dude. We met a long time ago actually. I was still an amateur, and she ended up being a sports psychologist, a sports therapist, and she's in Vegas. But she reached out to me, and we've been working for I think about 4 or 5 weeks now, and it's always a move that I've thought about making. I did some sports psychology study on my own, and I think I've learned a lot on my own. But man, once being with her, I think it's really going to be a game changer. As far as helping with anxiety, as far as keeping my focus for the entire 15 minutes of the fight. Like, man, she's really had a breakthrough with me, And one thing, that she did brought up is, man, I think I was kind of hanging on to some stuff that was bothering me in the past, and she really helped me let go of that stuff and really just kind of clear my mind and put me in the right place, As well as as many fighters you talk to and your experience and everything, like how important the mental game is, and man, she's been able to have some big improvements on me.
For sure. Now, you take all of that and you head into May 1st against Kai Kamaka. What is your breakdown of him and his style of fighting?
I'm not the guy to go out and talk trash on nobody, but I think with that being said, I think he's a tough guy. I think he's going to come to fight. But from the film we and my coaches have watched, I feel like if I don't knock him out, I'm going to drown him in the third.
Do you feel a different vibe right now? A different confidence heading into this fight compared to your first 2 UFC appearances?
Oh, dude, for sure. At this point, I've had the experience, right? I've been in the octagon twice now. I felt that. I've had a full camp this time. I've made some changes that were necessary, and man, I'm really going up there with a lot of confidence and also a bit of a chip on my shoulder, man. If I don't get this win, they might cut me, So I'm going in there with the intensity to take this guy's head off and show these guys that I belong.
For sure, man. It's going to be an incredible fight, man. It's action-packed, man. I've known you for a little bit, TJ, and I know Kai also interviewed both you guys before you guys were in the UFC. And this is a great matchup, man. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. May 1st, man, Las Vegas. Thank you so much, TJ.
Thank you for your time, brother.